art and science of the real estate review today. So what is a real estate review? What it is an unsolicited CMA, competitive market analysis, right? It's a chance to connect with a client, and it's a chance to show value. It is not an estimate of value. Let me do a pin on me. Hold on one sec. So what it isn't is an estimate of value, which makes it so much easier to prepare. Don't agonize about this. If you've sold a property and you're calling the same person to give them a real estate review, you're not sitting there agonizing over what the price might be now. It has nothing to do with that. So if you let that out of your brain, it makes it a lot easier to make the connection. And plus, if you haven't been in someone's home in a long time, you have no idea how they're living in it, what they've done to the house. So it wouldn't be of much use anyway, unless you're actually like, going to the house and checking it out and things like that. What people want to know is what the home down the street sold for. If there was one guiding principle of the real estate review, it would be to be the source of real estate information for your people. It is enough to just provide a simple list of the activity in their neighborhood in the last year. So I have a few keys to making real estate reviews easy. And I think I have 4 of them here. Number 1, you have to recognize that everyone is curious about the market activity in their area. Number 2, this is the best activity that delivers on the proactive part of the proactive trusted advisor. So when you're thinking about what you can provide to your people, you're not sitting back and hoping that they're going to call. You're saying, I have 9 habits for success in giving the business actually sitting on my wall right here from Ninja Selling. And it says, get into a state of love at the bottom. How can I make someone's day? So that alleviates the fear. You are proactive about seeing how you can make someone's day and how you can help them out. Number 3, key to making real estate reviews easy. It is truly one of the most powerful ways to be relevant and differentiated. In your own offices, I bet you might have a handful of people that has ever even tried this before and probably doesn't do it every single week. Number 4, this is an amazing way to give value and generate business at the same time. It never fails when you meet someone for a real estate review that within a couple of weeks, you're getting a phone call from someone that says, hey, so-and-so told me to give you a call. They said you were really good and I'm about to sell my house. So it's just a matter of being top of mind for people. So taking a phrase we all know, just do it. Okay, so now we're getting into the science of it, how you put it together. And I wanted to start with RPR. Of the people on here, has anyone never logged, well, Tony's one of them. Has anyone never logged on to RPR before? Realtors Property Resource? Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that first. RPR is a very cool tool that we, let me see, it's so hard with a share on for me to see everything. Okay, Realtors Property Resource is something that NAR, sorry, I'm not good with my letters today. NAR did 8 or 9 or 10 years ago. They spent over $1 million putting this platform together. As you know, banks, when they are giving loans for a mortgage, are going to either require an appraisal, or even if they do require appraisal, a lot of times they ask for I think it's called an AVM beforehand to just make sure it's in the ballpark. Okay, you're asking for 400. Yeah, our records are showing it's somewhere around worth about 500,000. So NAR created this thinking we can make money for our people and at the same time provide a free service for our agents to have Zillow on crack. That's how it would be explained. It's like as good as Zillow, but even better. Now, whether or not it has kept up with the times is not for now. This is about like just the one thing I use this for in real estate. So I'm unable to do 2 things at the same time. I'm looking up my own property to use it as a reference for today. Now, one of the reasons your MLS agent idea, that is okay. Okay, one of the reasons you would never ever use this as actual estimate of value is this is an example. My house is worth about 475, maybe. So it's saying 639. We're not using it as an estimate of value, but you're using it as an opportunity to give a report for the area to your people. So when you go on, the two things I use, I could teach a whole class on RPR. I've taken a lot of the classes on it. If you haven't signed up for it, log in, put your logo in, put your photo in, and fool around on it for a good hour, and you'll learn most of what there is to learn. When you do that, they're going to send you monthly updates on how to do it for CMAs and how to do RPR for this and that. And I found there's a couple really cool tools. One of them is, I could just show you now and not do a whole class on it, is when you're doing one of these property reports, one of them that they let you do an RPR, it's going to let you see how much a person owes on their home. So in a bad market, so to speak, let's say the tables turn and everybody's trying to sell their house and nothing's selling, you can look on there and have, like, I'm pretty sure that you took out a second loan on that house. And so you owe a lot more than your house is worth. I don't know if I want to take the listing. Also, when you're making an offer on a house, to be able to tell if there is a loan out on the house, and if so, how much equity the people might have. So that's one reason to use it. The other one is for a real estate review. So I'm going to just create a report. This is what I'm here for. So you can fool around on all these. Look at this, like in a click of a button, you can have a 74-page report for a seller or 81-page report for a seller. I think some of it is just not relevant in our smaller areas. If I was in, like, maybe in Grand Junction, this information is going to be better than it is here. But what I use it for isn't the property report. And plus, you're not going to want to use all those pages. Some of them are just totally irrelevant. But I use the neighborhood one, and it might have changed since I haven't sold in 4 years. But when I was selling the neighborhood report, I couldn't get it to any smaller than a zip code, okay, which is still fine. It's enough data to make assumptions about an area, whether it's going up or down. If you just picked a subdivision, if you were able to do that, it might not show enough information to show whether a house is, like, you know, worth more than it was last year, because there just isn't enough data, if that makes sense. Anyway, so let's just say this is what I want, the neighborhood. So all I'm doing is I push neighborhood and I'm pressing run report, and then I download it. That's it. So we're going to wait for that, and I'm going to move on. Okay. So that's the first part of it. I run an RPR report. Whether or not you add the RPR report is up to you. Some people just use, ours is Paragon, our MLS, but some people just use their MLS to do a quick, not RPR, RER, real estate review for someone. But this is basically what I do for someone. Let's say I run one report for active and pending, and I run one report for the last year of sold, since I do this every year for my people. I go to neighborhood. So let's say I was doing it on that 1819 Glen Isle. Oh my gosh, really? Let's see, Center's 1819 Glen Isle. Didn't know it would be that. You can see I don't use this every day anymore. Oh Lord, really? Well, let's go to Durango here. And I'm going to do a quick draw. If you don't know how to do this, learn, because it's the best trick when you're on floor trying to find where a property's listed. So this is the house. It's right around here. So let me do a property report of everywhere they might drive past on their way home from work, right? I want to know everything that's sold around this area. And I'm doing it, well, I'm doing actives now. Let's say I'm doing a sold too, right? So there's 4 active and pending. I bet you'd get a lot more of the solds. I'm doing a quick search. I organize it into a spreadsheet. Let me see if I can move Zoom over. So let's say this is my spreadsheet. I organize it by address, because that's how people think. Let's say you have, of the solds, there's 25 here. If it's a stick-built house, I'm just searching stick-built properties. And I'm organizing it by address, because people are thinking, what did my neighbor's house sold for? Oh, I live on East Lawn. Oh, it's either this one or this one. So just trust me, that's how you do it. And you just print it off into a little, piece of paper that's 8.5 by 11. So it is better, in my opinion. We're waiting for a ding on RPR, and I'll take you back there. But it's better, in my opinion, once you get both that come together. Once RPR's working, actually, I have it downloaded. Why don't I just show you what I have downloaded? Share screen. Where is it? I got my RPR neighborhood report here. Okay, can you see that? So this is it. I haven't updated it in years because I haven't sold, but for me doing my search, it did the 81301 area code. That is fine. It printed out 11 pages. You can tweak it and say, I only want these 3 pages, but look how cool this is. It looks like you sat down and did a ton of work for this. Median sales price, list to sales price, price ranges of homes that sold in our area. Here's a price per square foot of the homes that sold, size, age range, number of bedrooms. Like, they don't need all this information, but it's just a basic, here's a people stats and chart, what the population is, the median age, education levels. So again, you might be like, I don't need all this stuff, but it gives people an idea of what's going on in their neighborhood. And some of these, obviously they already live here. They don't need to know the walkability score or anything like that. And the last page isn't necessary. Okay. So that's what, by the time we're done talking, you're going to have a ding in RPR and it's going to download the report. It takes about 5 minutes to generate or so. So now you take both of these items and you decide how you want it to look and put it into one of those nice, some people use the glued presentation folders. If you have one in your office, you know, where it presses it together and it looks really formal. If you don't have that, maybe a nice presentation folder, like a Coldwell Banker white presentation folder, just something that you can hand to people. So that's the science of it, how it goes together. Any questions about that so far? Okay, if not, break in anytime if you want to. We're going to talk about the art. So remember the goal of having a real estate review is a face-to-face meeting. This is not something, I'm just going to do it for all my people and mail it out. I know your brain thinks, well, it'd be so much easier. I can reach so many more people, but that is not what it's about. We have market reports for that are generated every quarter. Send that out if you just want to email something to people. This is about once a year getting in front of all the people you know, whether you've worked with them before or not, anyone that owns a house. So the art is, let me get up what I'm going to say. So there's 2 different ways you can ask people to set up an appointment. Here's the invitation. See which one works for you. Malia, I'm gonna use you. I'm just calling them out of the blue. Hey, Malia, it's Heather. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Is now an okay time for me to talk to you just for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, if it's quick, I've got a few minutes.
Absolutely. How's the baby doing?
She's really good, thanks.
Good. Everybody's healthy and happy?
Yeah, a lot of teething going on, but otherwise we're good.
Oh, good. It's been a while since I've talked to you, but as part of my service to you, I have prepared a package of information in your neighborhood, which includes a summary of all the real estate activity in your area for the last year. I have everything that's currently on the market, everything under contract, everything that expired, got canceled, and everything that closed. I think you might find it valuable, and I would love to show it to you. It shouldn't take much more than 15 minutes. Would sometime this week or next week work for you? Maybe we could catch a cup of coffee. I'd love to meet your family or meet your baby.
Yeah, I think I can probably do Friday afternoon.
Would it be comfortable to come in and maybe get a cup of coffee, or do you want to meet at a playground or something like that?
A playground would probably be good.
Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. The other one, and did you notice that I didn't say I would like to prepare this for you? Because that loses all the meaning of it. If you would like to prepare something, I know if I got a phone call that said, I'd love to do this for you, I'd love to spend what sounds like an hour of your time, when really it takes literally 5 minutes to do both these things, I would tell that person, oh, no, I don't need that. Thank you very much. Kind of like, you know, your insurance agent once a year wants to sit down and go through all your investments or all that kind of stuff. I would probably say no. So the trick is I've already done this and I just need 15 minutes to sit down and show you what I have. Here's the other invite. Malia, I noticed that, oh, this is a great one. So let's say Malia lives in a neighborhood where there's a bunch of houses that always are coming up for sale. And you say, no. So you go through, it's always important to start with the 4 questions. So family, occupation, recreation, or dreams. You have one thing that you remember about, it's been a year since you talked to them, or maybe, 6 months, you've seen them at the grocery store. Oh, I saw you at the grocery store. I'm sure your daughter's doing better by now, like maybe they had a cold, whatever. You just remember something. Little Johnny just started his senior year. Well, he's not little anymore. He started his senior year at high school. How does he like his new teacher? Just something that you can talk to him about. How's your job going? I know you just started that last year. Something that puts them in the calm space of talking about something that matters to them, right? Before you start hammering them and asking them for a meeting. So here's the other invite would be, Malia, I noticed that there's a new listing in Durango West that just came on the market, and it made me think of you. I thought you might be interested in what's happened in the real estate market in your neighborhood in the last year. I prepared a report of everything that's gone on, and I'd love an opportunity to show it to you. Plus, I'd love to catch up. I think you might find it valuable, and it shouldn't take much more than 15 minutes. And then to say like this, the way the script is set up, I have time at 4 o'clock on Thursday. I wouldn't be doing that to a new mom, like not new mom, but you having a baby. I wouldn't be like, do you have time to come in at 4 o'clock on Thursday? You're obviously a little more open than that. But the way the script reads is I have time on 4 o'clock on Thursday. If it would work for you, we can meet at a coffee shop or some other place that's convenient to you. Malia, for example, do you think you could do that? One of those?
Yeah.
Yep. Seems kind of comfortable when you do it that way.
Yeah.
So,
it's a good point with the have versus the I'd like to do it for you.
oh, it makes all the difference in the world. Let me say, I'm writing down so I don't forget one thing I want to make note of. Do you guys have any questions about the scripting, how that would work?
Not with the script, but would you go through Zillow and add for sale by owner active listings as well?
I don't go to that far. There was a sign. I just want to know what it sold for. You could if you felt like you needed the time, but it ends up not even being about the report. So, okay, sort by address, the art, see the sheet. So here's what happens at the appointment. I have the report and I got a big purse. So sometimes I have it in my purse and it's kind of sticking out like where people can see it. Or I might just, if it's a big enough table, I'm not like having it in the middle of the table, but I might put it on the side so it's there. And what I usually did is just have the people out for a cup of coffee. I meet at like the local coffee house. And one of two things happens. You have so much fun catching up that it's only in passing at the end that they go, oh, wait, did you make me a report? Oh, yeah, here it is. If you have any questions about it, just reach out to me anytime. It was so good to catch up with you. It's not even about that. So as nervous as I'd be to do it the first few times, I realized like nobody even asked me about that. Or it could be that, let's say it's like the sweet old married couple that like loves looking at this kind of stuff and they want to meet you at their house and have you over for tea. And it's kind of a big event. So you go over and they take the report and they're sitting there together staring at all of the spreadsheet and not the real estate, the RPR part of the report. I know it's confusing. There's real estate review and then there's RPR is the National Association of Realtors thing, but they will sit there and stare at it and they'll go, honey, look what our neighbor's house sold for. They told us it was 600,000 and it only sold for 475. Oh my gosh, bunch of liars, you know, like because don't neighbors always fluff up what they say that their house is? So, oh yeah, well, we got top dollar for a house. They just love to talk. So it's a way for them to know what the house is actually sold for in the neighborhood. And they just sit there and go, well, do you think that was the person, that greenhouse, or do you think it was this one? Oh, I wonder. And like the whole conversation is only about that. It really ends up not being about their house and what their house is worth. So if you're worried that you're going without the right kind of information to a meeting and they're going to ask you all these questions that you don't know the answers to, like it is okay to go and feel unarmed because there's a way to deflect any questions you don't know the answers of. So I'm going to teach you that. So if somebody asks during the live real estate review, I'm saying live because it's in front of them. I guess you could do this over the phone. Zoom works beautifully. Now that we're in a Zoom world, talking to your folks in New York City on a Zoom call for 15 minutes is really easy. And you can even do that, you know, during your business day afterwards, say, you crack a beer, I'll crack a beer and we'll talk, or that sort of thing. But if you're asked, what do you think my house is worth right now? Because that's what you're terrified of, right? They're going to ask you that and you don't know. Then you get to be a ninja. Ask them if they would like a formal CMA. Would you like me to do a formal competitive market analysis? And if they do, you can ask them, here's two options you can do. You can say, do you want the optimistic value, the conservative value, or the spot on value. So in other words, you're asking, tell me how you might be using your CMA so I can do the best job possible for you. So then you have the opportunity to go back and really do the work on their house, which takes a lot longer, right? You're not going to knock a bunch of these out every week. Or you can say, I didn't come prepared with that number, but I'd be honored to prepare a full CMA if that would be helpful to you. So does that again seem comfortable to you? It's kind of like when you go to a showing as a newer agent and you feel like you need to know everything about a house, and you don't. There's no way as an agent you will ever know everything there is to know about a neighborhood. People ask wacky questions. So being able to deflect by saying, that is a great question. I'm not sure the answer to that, but I'll find it out for you. That just like, again, makes them feel verified that yes, they had a great question and that you don't have all the answers, but you're going to find out the right person instead of just opening up your mouth and saying, I bet it's at 650, or I bet that the HOA fees cover all these things, but I don't really know. Like, you're deflecting it until you have a better answer. So here is another option. Doing it for everyone you go to lunch with. Let's say you have a friend who owns a house and they always use a different agent. Not if it's in your office. You don't want to be competing against agents in your office. But if they always use an agent who has 20 years more experience than you, it's not like you're trying to win their business. You're just saying that you're going to lunch with them anyway, you're hanging out, and you say, hey, I do this for all my clients, and I just thought you might be interested in what the information on the houses that sold in your neighborhood would be. So if you have questions about it, just call me anytime. I know you always use Rebecca, but I just wanted to share this with you. So again, what's the harm? I found that with people, when I was newer, I was a lot younger than most of the people who owned property, let's say in the Durango area. I was 28 years old. And then the people I knew didn't really own a house yet. But I would find that even if so-and-so, my old boss in Durango, or that person I met at the coffee shop that I used to serve coffee to back before I was an agent, I would find that even if they always use so-and-so, they would throw you a bone. So they might not list their house with you, but they would tell their friends, you know, that Heather, she's new in real estate, but she does an amazing job. And I have known her for years and she is top notch. You should use her. And it will always happen that they will throw you a bone, even if it's not. So don't be afraid. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyone you know who owns a house. I tried this out on some friends that, let's say I was a hockey player. So I played a lot of hockey and I knew that I was getting into real estate and I knew they owned houses, and I might go out for a beer with them on Friday nights or something, but I'd call and say, hey, Brian, hey, I just saw a house in your neighborhood and it made me think, like, I did this real estate review for you and if you'd find it helpful. And I was so terrified to kind of cross that line into your friends, and it went so well. And again, they didn't even really look at the report while I was having the meeting with them. It was just more about, catching up and talking offline, so to speak. And then I got his listing, and then I got his roommate had to move out. So I sold him a house too. And then I sold him another house. So it all adds up. So here's an example. I have a top agent in my office. If you're in this Durango office, it's Jared Nixon. And he started out thinking that real estate reviews were a great idea. So as Jared does, he had 175, 200 people in his database, maybe more. And he gave them all a real estate review. He sent them out in the mail. He was like doing 20 a week or 30 a week or 40 a week. And he wanted to get it all done in like 2 weeks in January. And I bet he didn't get a lot of response. People were like, Jesus, you put like half an hour into this thing and wow, this is great. Okay, well, thanks, Jared. But it's the same as just sending someone a market report. If you do that, our quarterly market report, it's just a way of showing value. But when he slowed down and said, I am going to do, I want to do 2 a week. So what you have to do if you want to accomplish 2 a week is, let's say you get 5 of them prepared the week before. So you can get up to this amount if you do this every week. You do about 5 of them the week before, and you make the calls on Friday. And maybe you reach 4 of the people, and maybe 2 of them say, yes, next week works for me. So that's the way to fill your pipeline. It's not doing them and expecting the person's going to meet with you tomorrow. You have to get them done the week before and kind of methodically decide on how you're going to go, either through your database or through the people you know. Figure out a system so that you can do a couple of these every week. And it is one of the most comfortable experiences in real estate you have compared to cold calls or open houses or anything else. This is like super warm and valuable and easy to do. So when Jared changed that and he would do 5 in a week, make the phone calls, and then he'd set up Zoom calls or sit downs with people, he was able to do at least 2 or 3 a week. And it's just, he's had phenomenal success from this one thing that he does. I would say that has driven his business in the last like year and a half. So do you folks have any questions? Taking my pin off. That's really it. Hold on, I'm trying to do it. So I'm sorry, Malia. You were like big on my screen. There we go. I don't want anybody big on my screen. So that's it. That is like the simplest and easiest thing you can do. Who thinks they could do it? You think that's easy? Okay. I will tell you, if you can make space for even doing one on a friend to start with and say, see how this goes, or you're already having lunch or you're going like on a play date with somebody, just steal that business from your sister, Malia. Go for her contacts. No, I'm just kidding. She gives you so much love. We can't do that. But that's it. I did it all in 30 minutes. They're actually less than that because we had the round table. Any questions at all? That was the easiest one ever. So, okay, let's talk about what else you folks need help with. I'd love to do an actual like contractual type class next week. And Tony, you're not allowed to vote because you don't know what you don't know yet, if that's fair. What have I not done? Do you get scripted out? Do you hear too many scripts classes? I have one good buyer script class that I could do. And it's like how to talk to buyers. Malia, were you in that one last year?
No, I wasn't.
That is a really good one. It's a ninja one. So I'd pick one person to do it with. Is there anything else you're having trouble with right now in your contracts, Maria? Like something you're struggling with buyers or sellers?
No, I just need to get my butt moving on all of it.
You just got to get your butt moving. Okay. So maybe I'll do another comfortable kind of thing like buyer scripts to just see how it feels. And would you like my scripts to be sent to you today?
Yes.
Okay. So Maria, send me, I know you've sent it to me before. I actually have to keep, let me just, I'll keep it in you stay online as I let everybody go. So I'm just going to write everybody down. Malia, Tony, who else was here? Got Amy. Who else was here that I talked to? Well, they're gone, right? So they don't count. No, I'm kidding. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to keep you on, Maria, so I'll get your information. Oh, you got it. Perfect. So I'm going to write that down before I go. And you, rest of you, have a great week. I'll see you later. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Heather.
You're so welcome. Okay, I got it, Maria. Have a great week.
Thank you, Heather. I
Bye.
appreciate it.